How do you see especially performance of the governors?
Wonderful, wonderful. I'll tell you, I was here about 4 years ago. I mean, the Sokoto of today is completely different. I mean, we've experienced a lot. My people have traveled. I'm really thinking of going around after this trip. I was actually scheduled to travel to leave on Sunday, but I think I want to stay back. I mean, Sunday to just experience, visit a few places. The governor is done well. I mean, I'll tell you, I say this seriously and from the depth of my heart. I've visited all 36 states. There's something unique here. The state thanks rich in culture. The people are hospitable. We've enjoyed our stay.
Just 30 seconds of your expectations coming into the retreat, sir.
Reunion.
How does it practically affect ordinary Nigerians?
Yes, sir, the forum.
Well, members of the NGF are products of the Nigerian public, the Nigerian electorate, and by that simple fact, the first duty of governors is really to serve their people. And how best do they do that than to make a fundamental difference in their lives and also ensure that they help deepen our democracy? Those are very sweet words, but in practical terms, because of the federal nature of our constitution, governors are the closest to the citizenry. You have many Nigerians who really do not know what goes on in Abuja, and there are even those who know what goes on in Abuja who do not care because Abuja doesn't have any direct impact in their lives. Not that Abuja is not important, not that the central government is irrelevant, but the central government does not really directly affect their fortunes locally. And to that extent, everything that happens to them gets blamed on their governor, or vice versa, the governor gets the credit for what happens to them if it's progressive and positive. So what this forum does, what the Nigerian Governors Forum does, is to aggregate the viewpoints of its members. It's a voluntary organization. People tend to forget that. Primarily there to, I don't want to use the word pressure group, but to promote the interests of the issue and the issues that are important to governors. And that primarily relates to federal-state relations. It relates to revenue formula. It relates to the management of the finances of the Nigerian state. It relates to issues of transparency, good governance, and accountability. And these are issues that are extremely important to the Nigerian people. Of course, we now have democracy. People are taking that for granted. What is more critical is the quality, the texture, and the content of that democracy. How does it impact the lives of the ordinary Nigerians? And people are particular about that. Governors are either the demons or the pride of their individual states, and that places them in a very, very critical position in the country's democratization process.
So, we would just like you to say, what do you want the state governors to take away from the retreat?
We're trying to rebrand the Nigerian Governors Forum from what our political opponents try to present to the public to one that is very patriotic, which everybody knows. You will see that since we had little crisis, a lot of our expenditures at the national level have not been accounted for. But when we used to come together, it would have been difficult for the federal government to just deal with our resources the way they are dealing with it now. We're now hearing that there is no money to pay the state government. It was never like that before. who is spending this money? We want to know, and what is money being used for? Does the president have the power to just go into the excess good account and take whatever money he wants to take? It's a question you also need to ask, and ask for answers from the federal government. Well, so what will come out from here tomorrow, I guess, after hearing from the experts and when the governors will go into meeting, is basically to ask the questions about our resources, how they are being managed, and why is the country broke.